In this video, we're going to do polygons number 2. So the perimeter of a parallelogram in the following figure is 20 feet. So remember, perimeter means the distance around a shape. So if I add up all the sides, the perimeter is going to be 20. Find the length of x. So the thing about a parallelogram is that the opposite sides of a parallelogram are equal, which means the top and the bottom will both be the same, so x and x. And then also the left and right-hand side of a parallelogram are also the same, so 4 and 4. To do perimeter, you just add up all the sides. So I have 4 plus x, and it has to total 20 because that's the perimeter. So 4 plus 4 is 8, x plus x is 2x. So this turns into just a basic equation, but in order to do it, you actually have to know what perimeter means and information about the polygon. So x is 6, which is option B. So most of the polygon problems, they're not too difficult. It's just mostly understanding the properties. All right, number 2, given the right triangle, which is the following value of x? So this right offhand, we should recognize as a 45, 45, 90. So this side is a leg and this side is the hypotenuse. So our formula is hypotenuse equals the leg times the square root of 2. The leg is 5, square root of 2, which is option B. Now, you could use trig if you really wanted to. You could do the sine of 45 equals the opposite 5 over hypotenuse x. And you could do 5 over sine of 45 to get 5 square root of 2, but you'd have to type it in your calculator. You would also have to change every answer to decimal. So understanding special right triangles is actually going to save you some time in the long run. All right, number 3, given the trapezoid, what is the following value of x? You don't actually need any properties of trapezoids. You just have to know that this has 4 sides. So if you don't know that 4-sided figures add up to 360, you would do n minus 2 times 180. So 2 times 180 is 360. So any 4-sided figure is always going to add up to 360 degrees. So all I'm going to do from here is just add all of these sides up. So x plus 125 plus 105 plus 75 equals 360. So I get 305. Subtracting 305, I get an answer of 55. So the correct answer is A. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just realized you can't see any of that. So on this one, any 4-sided figure will always add up to 360 degrees, which is how we get this value here. You can do the n minus 2 times 180, the polygon angle sum formula, or you can just utilize your knowledge that all 4-sided figures will always add up to 360. All right, next page, number 4. Flip it around here. That's number 4. Let me adjust. In the following, it says A, B, or A, C, and D are on the same line. That just lets you know that this is a straight line. And you've got a triangle. If the measure of CAB, so CAB is 85, what is the value of BCD? So these are already x's. I'm just going to make this y. So that's our goal, is to solve for y. Now, this triangle is technically isosceles. So if we ignore this part right here, I have 2 sides that are congruent, and those are marked with x's. So that means that these 2 sides are equal. Whenever you're dealing with isosceles triangles, the base is always the side that's not equal to anything. And then remember, the angles that sit on the base are called base angles, and they're actually the same measure. Oops, that's smeared. Oh, well. So that's 85. So now, in order to solve for y, this is just a linear pair. Linear pairs add up to 180. So you're going to do 180 minus 85, which is 95. Which is option B. So this is an isosceles triangle problem mixed with linear pairs. And even though it doesn't tell us that it's an isosceles triangle, the indication is the 2 bars. The bars let you know that it is isosceles. Or not the bars, the x's, which I can infer that since they're both x's, they're the same. All right, and each of the smallest angles in a parallelogram is 50. What is the measure of the largest? So the way that you do these problems, parallelograms remember when you're working with parallelograms, there's a lot of congruency within them. The opposite angles are the same. So that one and that one are equal, then this one and this one. So based on this picture, the pink angles look the same. So I'm gonna put 50 here because those look smaller. You can do this one of two ways, okay? I'm gonna show you both. This has to add up to 360 degrees because parallelograms are quadrilaterals. So 50 plus 50 is 100. So 360 minus 100 is 260. And then I want to divide that evenly into two equal parts. So it's 130. That's one way to do it. Or you can put x's here. And you can do 50 plus 50 is 100. Plus x is 2x equals 360. And you do end up with an answer of 130. There you go. So again, on this one, the property you need to know is that the opposite angles are equal in a parallelogram. And then it also adds up to 360 degrees. Okay. Number 6, if one of the interior angles of a triangle is 72, which of the following all of them could represent the measure of the remaining except. So the thing that you need to know about triangles is that they add up to 180 degrees. So we're looking for which answer is going to be over 180 degrees. So right here, if you do 36 plus 73 plus 72, that equals 181. So this one is out. So it's option E. I mean, I can do the rest of them if you want, but basically all you're doing is adding them up to equal 180. So I have 72. So I'll do 72 plus 58 plus 50, 180. 72 plus 42 plus 66, 180. But then when I get down to this last one, 72 plus 36 plus 73, I get 181, which is too much. So that question is testing whether or not you know triangles add up to 180 degrees. 7, if the interior angles of a quadrilateral are all of these, what is the value of x? So quadrilateral interior angles always add up to 360. So I'm just going to add them all together. X plus 2x plus x plus 45 plus x plus 55 equals 360. I'm going to combine all those like terms together. X, 2x, x, and x is 5x. And then 45 and 55 is 100. Subtract 100, you get 260. Divide by 5, and you get 52. So the answer is 52 because it just wants to know the value of x. So again, on these problems, it's not about memorizing all the properties. It's just basically understanding that quadrilaterals add up to 360 degrees. They're going to give you easy terms because you have to be able to do it without a calculator. They're not going to be like a 475-sided figure equals what? Like that takes too long. They're going to be nice, easy problems. Number 8, each of the following pairs of angles could represent the smaller and larger interior angles of a parallelogram except blank. So remember, in a parallelogram, the opposite angles are the same. So this one would be x and x. This one would be y and y. So if you're trying to calculate the angles in a parallelogram, remember that they have to add to equal 360. So basically, I would add x plus y and then multiply by 2 because there's 2 of each of them. And those are going to equal 360. So all I'm going to do is go through all my answer choices. Let me grab something for my calculator. Oh, that made it worse. Hold on. Nope, that made it worse. It's a struggle. Let me wheel. There we go. Sorry, I had to wheel my card around so the fluorescent light. All right, so what you're going to do is 2 times, and then these are just x and y, x plus y. So that one does give me 360. I'm looking for which one doesn't give me 360. So B is 20 plus 160. That one does give me 360. Next, 35 plus 155. That gives me 380. So this one is the one that does not work because that one is going to equal 380 degrees. If you don't trust yourself, you can always finish it. 360, and then the last one, 81 plus 99, 360. Okay. So the goal of number 8 is just to test. Do you know that opposite angles are equal and that the parallelogram must add up to 180 degrees? All right, next page, last page here. I hope that reviewing these problems and working through them is making parallelograms and quadrilaterals a little bit easier. All right, let's try this one. What is the value of x plus y? So we got to be careful, but we should know that in a parallelogram, again, the opposite angles are the same. So 55 is 55, 25, 125. You do 125 plus 55, and that answer is 180. Okay, very basic. Most of the properties of parallelograms, the ones that are used the most often are that they all add up to 360, and the opposite ones are the same. Number 10 is a special right triangle. We should notice that right offhand because this has a 30, a 90, and then obviously that one is 60. So to do this one, remember hypotenuse across the 30 is short leg, across the 60 is long leg. So I'm going to write my formulas down. Hypotenuse equals the short leg times 2, and then long leg equals the short leg times square root of 2, or square root of 3, sorry. However, in this problem, we have h, which means we want to start here, and we're trying to solve for the short leg. So we actually don't need that formula. Well, the hypotenuse is 8, and our short leg is represented by x. So 8 equals x times 2. We're going to divide both sides by 2. Half of 2 is 4. So the correct answer is A. Now, yes, you could do trig if you really wanted to. You could have done the sine of 30 equals x over 8. So your x value would be 8 times sine of 30. You can do trig on here if you want to. But just know if your answer is not a nice whole number like this answer, you'll have to change all your answers to decimals. All right, last one. I like this problem a lot. It looks tricky, but it's really not that bad. This one says that it is a rhombus. So the key for rhombus is that all the sides are equal. So I'm going to do that first. So I'm going to mark on this picture, marking them all the same. All right, in the following figure, they all have the same length. Dashed AC is the diagonal, and BCD is 60. So BCD, this whole angle is 60, which also means that this whole angle is 60. Now, it's been bisected because anytime you have a diagonal with a rhombus, it cuts the vertex angle in half. So what that means is this is 60, that's 60, so this would be 30 and 30. The same would apply here, 30 and 30. The diagonals always bisect the vertex angle. So what you're going to do from here is now I have a triangle. So I'm going to do 180 minus 30 plus 30 is 60. 180 minus 60 is 120, which is the value of x. So for that rhombus property, you just had to know that the rhombus bisects the angles. Now, let's say you forgot that. You can do it another way. Okay, you can totally do that another way. So what you're going to do is we know that this is 60 and 60. In a rhombus, the opposite angles are also the same. So you could do it that way as well. But these would add up to 360. So you would do 360 minus 120, which would give you 240. And then there's 2 of them, so we would divide them in half, giving us an answer of 120. So 2 ways to do it, up to you completely. So if you forgot that it bisected, you can envision it as a whole rhombus and it would work as well.